Hi everyone, my name is Ranger Rebecca and I'm here at Los Luceros Historic Site. And I'm going to take off my mask because I know I'm the only person on site right now. It's just a little bit before we open. So hopefully everybody can hear me better, and it is very bright this morning despite it being cloudy and rainy last night. So like I said, I'm here at Los Luceros Historic Site where I work. And we are just north of Alcalde, New Mexico, which is north of Santa Fe. And I would love to see where everybody else is from. So if you want to say where you're streaming this video from, feel free in the comments. And just so everyone knows, I'll answer any questions anybody has at the end of this video. So I might not answer them while we're going. But if you have any questions, just let me know. So you'll notice the beautiful crabapple tree behind me, and that really leads into what I'm going to talk about today. So Earth Day is on Thursday, and at Los Luceros Historic Site, we wanted to celebrate Earth Day a little bit early. So I'm here to wish everyone a happy Earth Day and to talk about pollinators, specifically bees. So the crabapple tree behind me is in full bloom, and our apple orchard is about to bloom as well. Not quite. The flowers are about to open, but they're not quite there. And so we have about 4,000 native bee species in addition to honeybees that were introduced by Europeans in the 17th century that live in North America. And so a lot of these bees are what pollinate crops, but also pollinate the beautiful trees that are behind me. So we can't eat crabapple fruits. They taste really bad and they're not good for you. But the trees create beautiful blooms, and the pollen actually helps pollinate the rest of our apple orchard, which is why these trees were planted. And so bees like to eat pollen. Well, they turn it into food for the babies and themselves. And despite honeybees being the popular bees and the ones that people know about, the rest of the bee species that live in North America are really great about pollinating plants, even though we don't eat anything that they produce. They don't make honey that we go and find. But so the native bee species here usually are ground-dwelling species, which means that they burrow into the ground and they make their hives in the ground. And so you might notice bee species there. But other bee species, like honeybees, they like to move into hollowed out trees or in other spaces. And there are even native bees in this area that are called cuckoo bees that they basically, like a cuckoo bird, they lay their baby's eggs in another bee's nest. And so I've never personally seen a cuckoo bee, or if I have, I never noticed it. But these bees, despite not producing honey that we eat, are great at pollinating plants that are native to North America. So there's one bee that I really love called the blueberry bee, and they're called a blueberry bee because they almost specifically just pollinate blueberry plants. And blueberries are one of the great plants that are native to North America. Not to this area, but there are squash bees where all they do is pollinate squash plants. And squash plants, as some of you may know, are one of the 3 sister crops that were planted by Native American peoples, and were very important to the culture and life in this area well before Europeans ever arrived. And so bees have a really important part of the ecosystem. And so we really want to encourage people to have bees, on their flowers, and to plant flowers that are good for pollinating other plants. And so later today, Carly, my coworker, who's done a lot of live streams before, is going to live stream how to make seed balls with wildflower plants to encourage bee populations to pollinate. And so we just want to extend a happy Earth Day and to show everyone some of the crabapple blossoms. And it's a little cold today for bees to be out, but a great way to know if bees are in your trees, just listen to them buzz. And I'm notoriously bad at taking photos of bees. I've never taken a clear photo of a bee. But if you are good at taking photos of bees, we would love to see some of your bee pictures. You can add them to the comments or you can email them to me, and I'll link my work email here. But we would love to see bees in action. And so thanks again, and have a great Earth Day and an Earth Week.